Impostor syndrome. Let's talk about that. Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is Zach with IT Career Questions, and today we're talking about something that actually affects a lot of people. If you've ever heard the term imposter syndrome, this video might be something that you might want to pay attention to, think about. Maybe it's something that you have actually experienced in your life. Now, I would be lying if I said I've never experienced imposter syndrome. And please keep in mind that there are many different ways that you can determine what imposter syndrome is. And today we're specifically talking about imposter syndrome and IT. There's been many roles in my life that I feel like I've been in that maybe I shouldn't have been in. Maybe I wasn't qualified enough for it. Maybe I just didn't know enough about what I was doing to be in that role. And I think many people have experienced that same exact thing. I think being aware of the fact that you have those feelings has a certain degree of being humble that comes with that. And I think when you have that feeling of feeling like an imposter, of feeling like you're not good enough, you do better. You try harder. You try to prove to everyone else that you can do it. And the most important person that you're proving it to is yourself. You're proving to yourself that you're not the imposter. You're going above and beyond to do the roles of, or the duties of that role, to be everything that you can be. So you become not the imposter. So you become the person that is actually qualified for that role. Now, there's nothing wrong with imposter syndrome. If you take it as a bad thing, as if you look at being an imposter as something that could hold you back because you don't feel good enough and you beat yourself up over that, then yeah, the imposter syndrome is a really bad thing. But if you can look at it and you can say, hey, don't feel like I'm up to par with this, but I feel like I could do better. I feel like I could be in this role. I feel like I could be qualified for this role. That's what's important. Having that rational thought, having that understanding that you may not feel qualified, but you can accomplish the things that need to be done, that you can utilize your resources to, reach those goals, to be qualified enough for that job, that's important. That's definitely important. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with imposter syndrome. It's all about how you take it, how you manage those feelings, those thoughts, and what you do to overcome that. I've spoken to many different people in IT, from CISOs to sysadmins to network engineers, who all felt like they suffer from imposter syndrome. They feel like they're not qualified enough to be a CISO or to be a network engineer. But they are. They're in that role. They're doing the tasks and the duties associated with that role. But they have that feeling within themselves that they're not good enough, that they don't deserve that role, that they just got there by chance, by pure luck. That is the only reason why they are in that role. That's not really the case. I mean, sometimes I'm sure that could be the case, but these people that I've spoken with are brilliant. They're very smart. They know what they're doing. They understand the duties within that job, and they do their job very, very well. But they ultimately have that feeling that they're not good enough, that they don't belong. That's part of the imposter syndrome. That could be a good thing. If you can look at that as a good thing, you will overcome. You will always push yourself to be better. That is the most important lesson or value within imposter syndrome, is always pushing yourself to do better, is always knowing and understanding that you need to do better, that you can do better, and that you will do better. That is an important trait in your life that you, as a person, as somebody who wants to work in IT, should always understand, should always try to achieve. Always try to achieve greatness. And that can be said with any job, career, of course. But know and understand that imposter syndrome isn't necessarily a bad thing. Everybody kind of might look down on that in different ways. You might come off as not very confident But that's okay. You will get through that, and you will become a better person because of that. There's a lot of people who just start out in IT, even in help desk, right? And you could suffer from imposter syndrome because this is a new thing for you. You know, working in IT is new. You don't know everything. You're worried that you don't know all the answers to all the different troubleshooting things that you need to be done. And that's okay. Like, you don't need to know everything. You don't have to know everything. But don't feel like you're not good enough. Never feel like you're not good enough. That is, I think, the most important takeaway from this video. You are good enough. You are. If you can recognize and see within yourself that you're not good enough, like, that's gonna push you forward. That's gonna make you work harder. That's fact. Like, that's plain and simple. If you become that person, you will be a greater person. I hope this video helps you guys, because I've gotten a few different comments about people having imposter syndrome. When I was in Las Vegas at Black Hat, I spoke with a CISO who said multiple times, I'm just have imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not good enough for this job. I shouldn't be doing this job. I can't believe that I'm doing this job. How? You know, why? And this guy, great guy, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And he took me around Vegas, which was amazing of him, and I got to know who this person was. Very humble person, very helpful in what he's doing, very genuine. You could see that the fact that this imposter syndrome, you know, mentality was bothering him. But at the same time, like, he's working this great, wonderful job as a CISO, and he's rocking it out. Like, he's just crushing it, because he knows that he always has to prove himself to himself. And there's nothing wrong with always having that feeling. I think you more or less would have more issues always trying to prove yourself to somebody else. Never try to prove yourself to somebody else. You need to prove to yourself that you can do what it is that you are looking to accomplish. Always try to prove to yourself that you can do whatever it is you want to do. Never prove to somebody else that you can do it, because nobody else matters. They don't. You are what matters. So prove to yourself that you can have the role of your hopes, your dreams, whatever it is that you want to do. Prove that to yourself. I do that every single day. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this, but I do it. I know, for me, I'm trying to help somebody. I'm trying to help you. If I can help you, maybe I'm not an imposter. Maybe I am destined to do this. Maybe this is what my hopes and dreams exist of. You don't know. You got to prove that to yourself. I hope this video helps. I hope you got useful information out of it. I hope it was just something that struck you, that you wanted to watch, to understand, to hear about, to know that it's not a bad thing. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, hit me up in the comments below. I'd be happy to get back to you guys as soon as I possibly can. If you have anything else you'd like to add, listen to in the comments as well. If you guys want to add anything to imposter syndrome, please leave a comment below. If you feel like you suffer from imposter syndrome, please leave a comment and just share your story, share your experience, and share why you feel the way that you do. I'd love to hear from you guys. That's all I got for you guys today. As always, take it easy.